I'm Shelly Johnson, and I'm in City Park in Lander, Wyoming, getting ready to interview Mei Ratz, who's a phenomenal athlete. She has a whole bunch of swimming records for the Lander girls. She's out of high school now, but she's an elemental training athlete and has been for some time. This will be a treat. Come with me, let's go find her.
Well,
But I'm here with Mei. Hi, Mei. How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for making time for me.
Sure.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
21.
And a half.
Can you tell me a little bit about where you are in your life? Like, what do you have a profession? Are you a student, or what you do?
I am in between. I'm like in between student and student. So I went to school for a while. I went to school at CSU for 2 years, and I swam there. And then a whole bunch of things happened, and then I decided that my soul was not being fed in the way that it should be, and I was really getting stifled. And then I made a list of the scariest things I could do in my life, and then I picked the scariest one, and it was to apply to art school. And I've never taken an art class in my life, and then I am going to art school, and I'm leaving August 2nd.
Where at?
Portland.
Wow, congratulations. That's awesome. Good for you. So you picked the scariest thing, and so far so good. It's working out, huh?
Totally. And now I'm a small business owner and a student.
Yeah, tell me about your small business. What's it called?
831 Photo, and 831 stands for 8 letters, 3 words, 1 meaning, which is I love you.
Oh, great.
MeiRatz.com.
MeiRatz.com.
Yeah.
Okay. As you know, I've been videoing some various Elemental Training Center athletes. I hear you're quite the athlete. I know that you are, but I hear you've been working with Steve and Elemental for some years. And I also want to point out, you have like 6 or 7 records, swimming records for the Lander Tigers women's. You look up there, you look up at the board, and it's Mei Ratz all the way down it. And everything, not just like some fly, some free, some 200, some 50s. I mean, you pretty much own, I'm sorry, but it looks like you were quite the swimmer. So you hold some records from 2003 and 2004, right?
Yeah, I worked hard.
Tell me a little bit about that. So is that your background, mainly swimming, would you say, for athletics?
Well, I started swimming competitively when I was 2. And I swam my first swim meet when I was 3 and won a trophy.
Oh my gosh, here in Lander?
Yeah, at the Spook Splash. And then I swam I was homeschooled for the first part of my life, I guess. So all I did was swimming, pretty much. And I started working out with Steve when I was 14. And it was great. It was really like, if I would have known that having Steve in the gym in my life was going to be such a life-saving experience, then I probably would have been a little bit smarter when I was 14 and worked a little bit harder. But yeah, so I swam for 18 years, and I swam all levels pretty much. I went to college for swimming and swam Division I. And
was that at Colorado State?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I do have a few records, I guess. I have 1 state record, and I had 8 school records, and 1 just got taken down by a relay, which is great. Okay. But I just worked hard.
And did you love it since you were 2, or since you won that first trophy, or what was it that drew you into swimming? And I
think it was it was something that I had a choice about, that I could control, and I just was good at it, and so it really fed who I was, and it was great. So.
Well, that's great. Can you tell me a little bit about Steve in those days, like how he helped you as an athlete, like become a better swimmer?
It was pretty new for Steve and I both, and I was a snarky 14-year-old, so I'm sure I was horrendous. But I was looking to my goal was to make the Beijing Olympics, and so I really needed to work really, really hard, and I needed Steve to really make a program to fit my needs.
Right.
And so I would work out during lunch at school, and I would fly there from
junior high at that time,
Yeah, and then work out for an hour, and then go back and eat lunch in the car, and then and Steve was spectacular. Everything was just very like, okay, well, let's try this. This is going to be great. So, and it all was perfect.
It was like a personal coach?
It was, totally. Yeah. And I worked on everything that was geared towards sprinting, because I was a sprinter. And so I was doing jumps, and I was doing boxes, and I was doing squats until I wanted to cry. And doing workouts on the bike, and it was great.
Well, sounds like it paid off, yeah. So especially as a young kid, to be dedicated like that is pretty rare, I think.
I don't think it was really me. It was having people like Steve, and it was having a gym there that was perfect.
That could support you. And
it could, it could really fuel how it was working.
Right. So could you see results?
Totally. It was almost instant. Like the difference between, well, I think, and my records really kind of speak to that, is that a lot of people weren't lifting at that point and that age, and so lifting at that age and working that hard at like a geared pace, I guess,
right?
really was the way to do it, and really made me head and shoulders above other people because of it, you know?
Yeah, well, that's great.
Working hard and having somebody invest.
About, what do you do now? You're still athletic, so very athletic, but what are your interests, and maybe you can tell me a little bit about what you do now for training, or, you know, if you do anything.
I'm a swimmer now. But,
you're what, a swammer?
Yeah, but
that's a good one.
I swim sometimes, occasionally. I'm trying to get back into swimming as it being fun and just playing. But I'm working out with Steve once a week in the lab, and I just did today, actually, which was a lot of kettlebell swings. And trying to teach myself how to run.
Yeah.
Because I've never had this much oxygen in my sport before, and so it's kind of a fun thing. Working out for the sake of working out now is what I'm trying to learn how to do, which is really fun. Being able to do whatever I feel like. About just biking, like getting on my bike and just going wherever I want, or running, or just swimming for 1,000 and then being done. You know?
So what motivates you, in general, and also to go, you know, to do this, especially since you aren't swimming right now? You don't have like a team that you belong to.
That I've felt fit before, and that I know what it feels like to feel good about my body, and about how just like being able to say yes to things when people ask me to go do fun things.
Right.
And I don't want to lose that. And I don't want to feel like I can't do anything, and that I'm like sliding down the hill, I guess.
Okay.
And motivation because I love the gym, and I love the people at the gym, and being able to go there is, you know, you have to work out.
It's like another family there, huh?
Yeah, so it's more for me, like doing the right things for the right reasons.
Right.
Is what it is.
Well, that's great. Do you have any goals as far as, I mean, you've got your hands full right now. You're going to art school and you run a business. But do you have any other goals that...
I'm going to start master swimming, hopefully, again. And then...
and what is that? Just because I'm pretty naive. What is... Is it like an age group swimming, or what do you mean by master swimming?
It's all the... So there's age group swimming, and then you're supposed to leave, and then you're supposed to go to college and swim. That's what you're going to do. But all the people that don't go to college and swim usually join a master's team.
Okay.
And the master's team is from like ages 21 to 99 and a half.
Okay,
until
cool.
Whenever you feel like.
Right.
And they have meets, and they have nationals, and they have tons.
So you can still compete? And do you want to do that again then?
I think...
Boy, you'd be a force, I would think.
Just a fun thing to do, you know? And so maybe triathlons, maybe... I don't know what the goal is. The goal is to embrace Oregon with all of its fun things.
Yeah.
And to find a new fun fire to do when it comes to athletics.
No, that's great. The people that know you really well, Steve and so many others, they speak really highly of you. And they speak about your talents, but also just about just how mature you are, and just how you have such a zest for life, and how strong you are. I don't know if you can speak to that a little bit, about maybe where you get your drive. And
I worked out with Steve for that first part when I was 14, and it was Steve and me and my dad is kind of how it worked.
Jim Ratz?
Yeah, right. And then probably the biggest pivotal moment in my life is May 4th, 2005, and my father died in a climbing accident. And I remember getting a phone call from Steve and him saying, I'm at a wedding and I'm across the country, but I'll be there. And he flew an all-nighter and then ended up on my doorstep the next morning, and feeling like everything was going to be okay. Like, it was the darkest, probably the closest to the black hole I've ever been in my life, but it was like, okay, like feeling stable because this person is here. And so I think my motivation is really that the rainbows come after the storms, and that you gotta just, like, things just keep getting handed to you all the time. And it's the people in your life that matter the most. And if I need to go do 100 pull-ups and I get to see Steve at the same time, or I get to hang out with the people at the gym, then that's the perfect way to do it. So, like, I've been handed some lemons and dealt some cards that I'm not that psyched about, but at the same time, I don't think that I would have that feeling about life and the people that I have in my life now if it wasn't for that. So I'm thankful.
That's great. So Steve and your dad were pretty close, right?
They were, yeah.
Really close, if I recall correctly.
They were pretty close, yeah. They were pretty good friends, which has made it brilliant.